this up for you. You can go sit with Rabbi Kozlowski, and then I'll call you up. Well, Boker Tov, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This beautiful morning is really incredible as we watch the leaves falling from the trees and see the blue sky in front of us. It really is just an absolute joy to feel that sunshine shining down upon us. And not only is the sun shining down upon us, but in a sense, the sun is rising and shining out from within our sanctuary as well. As Owen is ascending to adulthood, we can see that light that emanates from him and his dear family. They truly are extraordinary and wonderful, wonderful, dear people. And I know all of you are as well. And so there is tremendous light here in this sanctuary this morning. We are going to reflect on all of the goodness that exists within our dwelling places as we turn to the words of Ma Tovu. Cantor, what page is Ma Tovu on?
74.
We could turn to page 74 as we join together in singing Ma Tovu.
Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani berov chastecha, avo veitecha, Eshtacha ve'el heichal kodshecha, be'yiratecha, Ma tovu, Ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Adonai ahavti, me'on beitecha, umekol mishkan kevodecha, mishkan kevodecha, va'ani eshtachave, ve'echra'a, evrecha lifnei Adonai, osi ma tovu, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, va'ani tefilati lecha, Adonai et ratzon, Elohim berov chasdecha, Elohim berov chasdecha, Haneni be'emet ishecha, ma tovu, ma tovu, ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael.
We are now going to turn to page 88, as we turn to these beautiful obligations without measure, whose reward too is without measure. It's meaningful that Owen is going to read them also while wearing this beautiful talit that belonged to his great-grandfather Alfred, who immigrated to this country after the Holocaust from Germany. And it is meaningful that you're wearing this talit because it's a testament to the idea that the fabric of your lives are all intertwined. And it is truly a beautiful testament to the enduring legacy of our people, that no matter what befalls them, that they can start again, and that they can lift themselves up, and that they can move towards the light. And so it's meaningful that Owen is going to be reading these obligations that have been passed from generation to generation.
These are the things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
Because it leads to them all. We are now going to turn in our Siddur to page 106 as we turn to the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yotei v'yamlich malhutei. Bechav yechon uvyomechon uvkayed dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala uvizman kariv v'imiru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach la'alam omei almaya yitbarach v'ishbavach v'itbar v'troman v'itnaseh v'itardar v'itale v'itala shmei dekudusha b'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dami b'yama v'imru amen.
We turn now to the call to worship, and we rise together as a community as we lift ourselves up both spiritually and physically for prayer.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We continue now in the Hebrew on page 110.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam yotzer or uvarei choshech oseh shalom uvarei et hakol ha'me'ir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha b'rachamim uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam bechochma asita mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha v'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha selah or chadash al tzion ta'ir v'nizkeh chulanu mehera la'oro baruch atah Adonai yoter chamorot.
Amen.
We turn now to page 112, and there you'll find a prayer that reminds us of all the love that God holds for each and every one of us. And there is so much love that is filling this space for you, Owen, not just here in the sanctuary, but beyond, as your grandfather David is watching you over our streaming services. And it's meaningful that around your neck you're wearing his chain and his mezuzah, because in so many ways you're this beautiful next link in a chain of love and tradition in your family. And holding that chain and that mezuzah close to your heart, it's always going to connect you to your grandfather and to all of us here in this space, because this is a space that is filled with people who love and adore you. And so it's right that we should turn to this prayer with those ideas in our mind.
How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears, whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah. Focus our minds on your mitzvot. Unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we will never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy.
Let's read together. Gather us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us. Truly you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. We turn now to page 114 as we recite the watchword of our faith, the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
You may be seated. We continue now with Ve'ahavta on page 116.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lochtecha v'aderech u'shochbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim leilulechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiyot lahem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem. Amen. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We are going to continue reading responsively on page 121.
The eternal truth is that you are alone, our God, and there is none else.
May
the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asked God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדחנו ממך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We now rise as we turn to the tefillah, which can be found on page 124.
Adonai, sifatav tiftach ufia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zoher hasevot v'imaot, u'mevi geula livnei v'nechem, l'ma'an shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayecha kol atah rav le'oshia, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamin rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem amunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha bal gevurot, umidom melach, Melech memid umechaye umatmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lehayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol.
We read responsively on page 129.
You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the doorframe, I begin to enter into your glory.
You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the thresholds that I might abide with you.
In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions, waiting to be posed. They fill me with wonder.
Sit with me, eternal teacher, encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled.
Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving.
Baruch atah Adonai, notea betochenu chaye olam.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם. אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. We turn to page 132 for Yismechu.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ובשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
We turn to page 135 and read responsively at the top of the page. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. We turn to page 137 for Ritzeh.
רצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל, ותפילתם באהבה תקבל, ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך. ברוך אתה אדוני, שאותך לבדך בהירה נבוא.
We turn to page 139 for our Hoda'ah prayer, our prayer of thanksgiving, of gratitude. And this Shabbat, just before Thanksgiving, we have a lot to be grateful for. We could be grateful for the beauty that we see outside. It is especially warm this time of year, so we're lucky for that. We can be grateful for the beautiful music and the beautiful flowers that we see on our bima as well. And we are certainly grateful for the young man sitting behind me, Owen, becoming a bar mitzvah this morning. So we turn to our Thanksgiving prayer on page 139. I'll read the paragraphs and then we'll read together Modim Anachnu Lach. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim Anachnu Lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. We turn to page 140 for our prayer for peace, Sim Shalom.
Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Barchenu yotzreinu kulanu kechad, beor panecha, ki veor panecha, natat lanu Adonai Eloheinu. Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Torat chayim ve'ahavat chesed u'tzedaka u'veracha v'rachamim, v'chayim v'shalom, v'chayim v'shalom. Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, al kol Yisrael amecha. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. שים שלום טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, על כל ישראל עמך. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
With those words of peace echoing in our minds, we take a moment now for Tfilat Halev, for the prayers in your heart.
We sing together. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are now going to turn in our prayer books to page 244. There you will find Seder Kriyat Torah, our Torah service. And Owen knows that one of the high points of every service is when we take the Torah and we march it around the congregation, as he will do. You know, it was a few days ago, actually, Harriet, you had asked me if the Torah was heavy. And it's a question that often parents, grandparents, and young people will ask before they carry the Torah around. But every time I'm asked that question, you know, in my mind, I start to sort of review the journey of Torah. And I think about our ancestors and how they've bared the Torah through moments of exaltation and moments of degradation. You know, thinking about its first composition, historically we attribute to Mount Sinai, then the idea that it was carried into the promised land and then out as our ancestors were taken into captivity in Babylon, and then back again, and then out again as the Romans conquered our people and the Judean people moved into the Roman trade routes and became known as the Jews, spread out across the world. There were moments within that experience of exile and diaspora in which the Torah was something that our ancestors clung to no matter what, no matter where they would go, through pogrom, through massacres, through moments of light, moments of enlightenment, through being forced into ghettos or forced into shtetls. But our people also were able to transcend those moments by clinging to it. And as heavy as the Torah might be, it was also something that sustained us and brought us forward. And that's why it's so meaningful that Owen is going to be reading from one of two Holocaust scrolls that we have here at Congregation Shalom. But it's also a link, in a sense, to another Torah that is sitting in Kentucky right now, that your great-grandfather Alfred, for whom you are wearing that talit that he bared as well, was brought to this country. It was brought to this country as a testament to the fact that even though there can be much darkness in the world, but that when young people are able to hold on to the Torah and lift it amidst family and friends, that they can bring that Torah to new shores, to an expansive new future, a new world, and that they can bring light no matter how much darkness we might see in it. And so it's always a connection and it's always a link, not only to those who will help you bear that Torah, but to your family who has bared that Torah for generations. And so it's a meaningful link in that sacred chain of tradition. And so it's an honor to call forward dear members of your family, Ethan and Jack Goldstein, who are going to open up our Ark doors. It's a meaningful tradition that will be passing the Torah from generation to generation. Those who will help you bear the weight of the Torah, your grandparents, your parents, your dear sister. It's a joy to call upon grandparents Harriet Kleinman. We are thinking of David, who is spiritually with us right now, watching and holding that Torah too, as he's going to pass it to you. And we're going to call forward Mary and Jerry Weinberg as well, as they are going to have the honor of passing Torah to their grandson. It's a joy to call upon dear mom and dad, Rachel and Matt, and your sister Maddie to stand with you as well, as we stand in that sacred chain, L'Ador Vador, from generation to generation. We rise now as a community as we greet the Torah scroll.
En kamocha va'Elohim Adonai ve'en kema'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'ador Adonai melech Adonai malach Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai oz le'amo yitein Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Ki mitzion tetzei Torah Udevar Adonai mirushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Torah Baruch shenatan Torah Torah le'amo Yisrael bikedushato
Torah, Owen, as you well know, this is the Torah, and found within it are values that have been held dear and lifted high by your family for generations. And yes, the Torah is indeed heavy, spiritually heavy, but would you stand with such fine people beside you, and we know that you can bear any weight and any burden. And it is a joy to pass this Torah from the generation of your grandparents to the generation of your parents. And now, Owen, it is being placed on your shoulders where it should remain with good health and much strength. We turn and face the congregation now as we recite the watchword of our faith, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Lecha Adonai HaGedula, VeHaGevura, VeHaTiferet, VeHaNetzach, VeHachod. Kicho b'shamayim uvaretz, Kicho b'shamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, vehamitnaseh lechol rosh. V'ha'ernenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libenu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachei levavenu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha, v'lo nevosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikasher, le'olam va'ed, v'ha'ernenu b'toratecha, v'dabek libenu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachei levavenu le'ahava u'yira et shemecha, v'lo nevosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikasher, le'olam va'ed, v'ha'ernenu בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחל לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך. אלי, 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 בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחל לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך.
You may be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. This morning's Torah portion Toldot begins with the third generation of our Jewish ancestors when Rebekah gives birth to twins Esau and Jacob. The portion focuses on family dynamics, inverting who claims the birthright and the blessing of the firstborn. What does it say about our patriarch Isaac that he has no blessing left for his son Esau after giving one to Jacob? You will find the Torah blessings on page 250 in the Siddur, our blue prayer book, and the Torah reading can be found in the Hertz, the bigger blue book, on page 98.
It's so meaningful that Maddie is going to be our first Torah reader. And Maddie, it feels like just yesterday you were here in this sanctuary with no one else doing your bat mitzvah as we were all watching over Zoom. And so it's meaningful that not only do you get to experience reading from Torah, which you've done every single high holiday since and done so magnificently, but it is meaningful that you're here reading and chanting Torah in honor of your brother becoming bar mitzvah. That is a beautiful testament to the love that the two of you share. And so it's also a joy to call upon Samantha Levin for our first aliyah. Ta'amod, Shira Bracha Bat Yosef David V'Rivka Chana.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'Natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'et orot gedayei haizim hilbisha al yada ve'al hilkat savarav. Vatitein et hamat'amim v'et halechem asher asata vayad Yaakov bena vayavu el avi vayomer avi vayomer hineni mi ata beni. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah temet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yesher Koach, that was a beautiful aliyah. And it is now wonderful that Owen's going to take on the role of being our Baal Koreh, our master of reading Torah. And it's a joy to call upon dear aunts and uncles, Avery and Jay Goldstein, Heather and Robert Ramirez and Brian Weinberg. Ya'amdu, Tara bat David v'Chana, Yulia bat Ruben Melech b'Basha Rachel, ve'Ariel bat Shimon v'Miriam, ve'Baruch ben Shimon v'Miriam.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Yaakov el Aviv, Anochi Esav bechorecha, Asiti Kaasher dibarta Eli, Kumna Sheva, Velchla Mitzedi, Ba'avur Tevarachani Nafshecha. Vayomer Yitzhak el beno, Mazeh mihartalim tzo beni, Vayomer ki hikra Adonai Elohecha lefanav. Vayomer Yitzhak el Yaakov Kishana v'amushcha beni, Hatazeh beni Esav imlo.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata b'ratoinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yesher Koach, Mazel Tov to you, and it's a joy now to call upon your grandparents, to call upon Harriet Kleinman, David Kleinman, Mary Weinberg, and Jerry Weinberg. Ya'amdu Chana bat Avrin v'Bluma v'David ben Yehud v'Clara v'Miriam bat Baruch v'Margolit v'Shimon ben Ish v'Miriam.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarah.
Baruch Adonai Barak Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarah Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayigash Yaakov el Yitzhak Aviv, Vayimushehu, Vayomer Hakol Kol Yaakov, V'hayadayim Yedei Esav. V'lo hikiro ki hayu yadav, kidei Esav achiv zeirot, vayevarchehu, Vayomer atazeh b'ni Esav, Vayomer ani.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tokeinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yesher Koach, Mazel Tov to you. It's wonderful to see the generation standing at Torah together. It's a joy now to call upon dear mom and dad and sister, to call upon Rachel and Matt and Maddie Weinberg. Ya'amdu Rachel bat David v'Chana v'Matisyahu ben Shimon v'Miriam v'Matana bracha bat Matisyahu v'Rachel.
So much mazel in the room. So much mazel. Okay, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Barak Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Hagisha li v'ochla mitzed b'ni lema'an tvarechecha nafshi vayigesh lo vayochal vayavei lo yayin vayesh Vayomer elav Yitzhak aviv Yishana ushkali b'ni Vayigash vayishak lo vayarei et reach begadav vayavarchehu Vayomer re'eh reach b'ni Kereach sadeh asher beracho Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
It's okay, it's all about love.
Ya'amod, Ya'amod, Ya'amod ha-bar mitzvah, Ya'amod Ori Caleb ben Matisyahu V'Rachel. It is with great joy and great fanfare that we call forward Owen Weinberg as he becomes a bar mitzvah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bahar banu mikol hamim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vayten lecha ha'Elohim mital ha'shamayim u'mishmanei ha'aretz v'rov dagan v'tirosh ya'avducha amim v'yishachavu lecha le'umim hevei gevir le'achecha v'yishtachavu lecha b'nei imecha orecha aror u'mevarechecha baruch. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. All right, Owen, go give your mom and your dad and your sister a big hug. Yeah, that's wonderful. And kiss. There's something very special about seeing this beautiful family up here at Torah. And Owen, your Torah portion is filled with words, the Hebrew words that speak to the nature of this moment. This idea, two words you recited were kumna, which means to rise, please, to rise up. There were other words here that represent fatherhood, parenthood, motherhood, abba, ima, right? Yeled, child, yalda, daughter. These ideas here also that speaks of bracha, a blessing. It's a reminder that this Torah is filled with a family story. Moments of good moments, moments of challenging moments, but moments that are filled with moments that we rise up and that we not only bless each other, but that we see the blessing that exists within each other. I know that when you look at your mom and dad and your sister, and when they look at you, they see extraordinary blessing, right? Because of the people that you are, the person that you are, and the person that you're becoming. Never stop remembering that you are a part of this family story and that you are a profound blessing, not only to your family, but to your community, to your friends, and I know to the nation and the world. May you always remember that and always remain so. And so now it is a joy to call upon those friends of your family who are going to uplift the Torah as well. It's a joy to call upon Adam Bazelon, and who's going to be the starker and lift the Torah scroll. It's a joy to call upon Amy Bazelon and Randy and Danny Arnstein, and how wonderful it is that you're sharing this day with the Bazelon family. I know that this connection runs deep and it's powerful, and we are doubly blessed to enjoy all of the simchas of this day as well. And so we rise now as we lift and we bind our Torah scroll.
V'zot ha'Torah asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Lai la 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 la. Lai lai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai lai lai. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
You may be seated, and now Owen is going to read the English translation of his Torah portion.
Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Pray, get up, and sit and eat of my game, so that you can give me your heartfelt blessing. Isaac then said to his son, How is it that you were able to find game so quickly, my son? And he replied, The eternal your God made it happen for me. Pray, come near me, said Isaac to Jacob, so that I can feel you, son. Are you really my son, Esau, or are you not? Jacob approached his father Isaac, who felt him, and said, The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him, however, because his hands were hairy like the hands of his brother Esau, and he was preparing to bless him. He said, Are you really my son, Esau? I am, he answered. He said, Bring it near me, and I will eat of my son's game, so that I can give you my heartfelt blessing. He brought it to him, and he ate. He brought him wine, and he drank. His father Isaac then said to him, Pray, come near and kiss me, son. As he came near and kissed him, Isaac smelled the scent of his clothes and blessed him, saying, See, my son's scent is like the scent of a field blessed by the Eternal. God give you of heaven's dew, of earth's bounty, abundant grain and new wine. Let people serve you, nations bow down to you. Be a ruler to your brothers, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed. May those who bless you be blessed.
We now turn to a second biblical reading that we do on Shabbat. We will be reading from a Haftorah, and the Haftorah is not merely like a half Torah, as some people have thought, but it is actually comes from the book of prophets. And it's a reminder that when we continue to fulfill wonderful obligations, that we can actually walk in the footsteps of our prophets, not to change the world, to make it better. They weren't just looking to the future to predict it, but they wanted to make it a more equitable, more kind, and more just place for us all to live. And so it's meaningful that Owen's going to be reading from Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1, which can be found in your Hertz Chumash on page 102. Page 102.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar bin ve'im tovim v'ratza v'divrechem hanamarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah uv'Moshe avdo Uv-Yisrael amo, uv-Nvieh ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
Masa devar Adonai el Yisrael b'yad malachi. Ahavti etchem amar Adonai. Va'amartem bama ahavtanu haloach Esav liYaakov nu Adonai ve'ohav et Yaakov ve'et Esav saneti ve'asim et harav shemama ve'et nahalato letanot midbar ki tomar Edom rushashnu v'nashuv v'nivneh haravot ko amar Adonai tzevaot hema yivnu v'ani eheros v'kar'u lahem givu risha v'ham asher za'am Adonai ad olam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam tzur kol ha'amim tzaddik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu liktusha v'limnucha lechavod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la umvarchim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol hai tamid leolam va'eh. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
Awesome.
Yasher Koach, Owen. You can take a big, deep breath. The hard part's over. You chanted Haftarah so beautifully for us this morning, and it is clear just how much effort you put into devoting to lead us in worship this morning. And I want you to be so very proud of what you've accomplished. I know I speak for myself, for Rabbi Noah, for Canna Perper, and for everyone here, all your friends and family, when I say that we are so very proud of you this morning and always. And I would like for everyone to rise as we turn to page 259. We say a prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu shebashamayim tzur Yisrael v'goalo, barech et medinat Yisrael, reshit tzmichat geulatenu, hagen aleha be'evrat chesdecha, ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, ushlach orcha va'amitcha l'rasheha, sareha v'yoetzeha, v'taknem be'etza tova milfanecha, v'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam leyoshveha, v'nomar amen. We read together, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And together we say, Amen. And we remain standing, and it's an honor to call forward Max, Robbie, and Asher Ramirez to open our ark doors as we return our Sefer Torah on page 256. Behold, a good doctrine has been given you, my Torah. Do not forsake it. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace.
Etz Chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomecheha meushar, deracheha darchenoam, v'chol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu kekedem.
You may be seated. And now Owen has prepared these words on the occasion of his becoming Bar Mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom and good morning. Thank you all for coming to celebrate with my family as I take my place as a young Jewish adult in my community. Today, I read from the Torah portion, Toldot. It comes from the book of Genesis. Isaac, the father of Jacob and Esau, is old and feels that he might die soon, so it is time to give the very important blessing, the blessing of the birthright, which basically makes someone the next patriarch of the family, and the recipient receives the land and everything else from the family. Esau is supposed to get the birthright blessing, and so Isaac tells his son Esau to go hunt and prepare a meal and bring it to him, and he will give him the blessing. But Rebekah, their mother, overhears their conversation. She prepares food and disguises Jacob as Esau, because Isaac can't see or hear very well. And then Jacob goes up to Isaac and says, I'm Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Pray and get up and sit and eat of my game, so that you can give me your heartfelt blessing. In doing this, Jacob steals the birthright blessing, though earlier we hear that Esau traded it for some lentil stew. It is clear that the two brothers, twins, did not have a good relationship, but especially after the incident of the birthright blessing, things became horrible, and Esau wants to kill Jacob, forcing him to run away for many years. What stands out to me is how bad a relationship Esau and Jacob have, and how in the end they come together. This relates to my sister and I, because we fight a lot, and we always somehow forgive each other and love each other again. Also, Jack and I fight a pretty good amount of times, and always try to make up, because if we don't, that can get ugly. Overall, I think that anytime someone gets in a fight, it's always good to make up, or no matter how big of a fight you get in with someone, you should always love them again. Becoming a bar mitzvah means to me that you need to become more mature and responsible. I also think it means that it is time to do more things yourself. I think you should have more forgiveness. As an adult, you can make bigger mistakes. The consequences can be more severe, they can turn violent, and they can impact more people. When you become an adult, you have more responsibility over your actions. You should offer forgiveness, and asking for forgiveness is meaningful, because if you or someone don't forgive each other, then someone could wind up getting hurt on the inside or the outside. Not everybody is lucky enough to become a bar or bat mitzvah. Today I'm honoring one such individual, a young boy who never lived to the age of 13. Through the Yad Vashem Bar Mitzvah 20 project, I am celebrating my bar mitzvah on behalf of Nathan Weinberg, who sadly was murdered at the age of 7. He was born in Würzburg, Germany, the son of Harry and Fanny. He died in Belorussia. The empty chair with a tallis represents Nathan, and I stand here today on his behalf. Part of becoming a Jewish adult is demonstrating responsibility to one's community through a mitzvah or tikkun olam project. Jack and I's mitzvah project is to collect donations for the Israel Emergency Fund. Approximately 6 weeks ago, Israel was attacked by Hamas, a terrorist organization. These attacks were brutal and horrific. So many families have been affected. There are over 200 hostages which were taken into Gaza and remain there to this day. This fund will donate money to victims and to those who have been affected by the Hamas terrorist group. No human being should ever have to witness the terror that a lot of Israelis had to go through. I studied very hard to arrive to this day, but I didn't do it alone. Thank you so much to Rabbi Noah, Rabbi Pozlowski, Cantor Perper, Sam Berman, and Miss Green for preparing me for today, helping me to polish my prayers, learn my Torah, and Haftarah portions, understand the meaning of my portion, and helping me with my speech. I'd also like to thank Miss Rosengarten for taking time out of her day every Monday to come and tutor me, helping me to prepare. Thank you to all my Hebrew and religious school teachers for your years of dedication to my education. I know sometimes Jack and I may have been challenging, but I really appreciate the opportunity to learn and be part of Congregation Shalom. Thank you so much to my grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and cousins. Thank you for coming from far away to be with us. I love when we are together for Thanksgiving, winter break, or other occasions. Maddie, you are such a quick learner. I remember you learning 2 Torah portions for your bar mitzvah. You are always there to help me, if it's school or if I'm having trouble with something. I know I fight a lot, but I always love you. Dad, you work so hard to provide a wonderful life for our family. I love playing baseball with you and watching movies with you. I know you are always busy with work, but somehow you always find time to hang out with me, and I appreciate it so much. Mom, I am in awe of your bravery and how you fought during your battle with cancer, all while raising 2 kids and working tirelessly for our family. You are an amazing mom, and I am so lucky to have you. You are always there for me. Also, thank you so much for all the effort you put into organizing my schedule, not to mention the constant hours of driving me all around town. Thank you so much to Mom, Dad, Amy, and Adam for planning this amazing day and night for Jack and I. I know that it took a lot of hard work, and I cannot wait to celebrate with everyone this evening. Thank you to everyone for coming to be a part of this special day. It means so much to my family and me that you are here. I know there are some people who couldn't be here that really wish they could have. Just know that you're with me in my heart. Also, please remember to get your VIP passes after the service. Shabbat Shalom.
Way to go. Yesher Koach. And now it's a joy to call upon Matt and Rachel, and Maddie, come on up, Maddie, who are going to share their words for you as well.
Owen, Mazel Tov. You did an amazing job, and I'm so proud of you. It has been an honor to watch you grow up for the last 13 years, though much of that time consisted of us screaming at each other and then pretending like nothing happened. I will always cherish our good memories, like making you dress up like me for TikToks, messing with Mom and Dad, and you making me swim all the way to the middle of the Gulf to retrieve balls that you throw as hard as you can. Our sibling bond is very unique, which is what makes it so special. I know we don't always get along, but I hope you know that I love you with all of my heart, and I'm so proud of the person you're becoming. I am so beyond thankful to have you in my life. For as long as I can remember, you've always had the biggest heart. You never hesitate to think about other people's feelings, and you always stick up for the underdog. That is something I've always admired about you, and I can't wait to see where your heart leads you in the future. You also jump to defend and support anyone you care about. Whenever someone does something to hurt your friends or family, you're always the first to stand up for them. I know that you will continue to do the right thing in this next chapter of your life. For all the times you begged me to take you late to Sunday school, and all of the emails Mom got about you goofing off at Hebrew school, I would have never guessed that you would show such a profound interest in your bar mitzvah studies. But you proved me wrong, and I've been so impressed by your constant desire to learn more about each aspect of your bar mitzvah journey. All of the questions you have asked and the hours you have spent studying have made this day so special, and I'm so proud of you. I know I don't say it a lot, but I'm so lucky to have such an amazing brother on my side. I'm so excited to see how this next chapter of your life unfolds. Everyone here today is so lucky to know you, Owen. Mazel tov, I love you.
Oh, Maddie, that was so sweet. Okay, here we go. All right. Owen, Caleb, I can't believe that this day is finally here. You did such a phenomenal job today. When I think back to all of the years spent complaining about going to Sunday school and Hebrew school, just look at how far you have come. It doesn't surprise me, though. You put the work in and somehow always still have time for at least one more Fortnite game. There are so many people who I believe have helped you get to where you are today. Some are unfortunately no longer with us. One is on Zoom, and some are sitting right here in this room. The first one is your great-grandfather, Alfred Meyer. I never knew him, but from the stories I hear about him, I know that there is some of him in you. First, he had dark skin just like you. Second, during World War II, him and his friend broke into a synagogue in their neighborhood in Germany and stole a Torah so that it wouldn't be destroyed by the Nazis. He carried that Torah with him to Israel when he escaped Nazi Germany, and then to Louisville, Kentucky, where he laid down his roots, started a family, and it is still there today. I truly believe that your intense interest in World War II started with your great-grandfather's experience. I have such pride that you are being bar mitzvahed today, wearing his talis and honoring him, and what an incredible person he was. Next is Aunt Cecil, who your middle name Caleb is in honor of. I never knew any of my grandparents, and Aunt Cecil stepped right in and filled that role for Avery and me. She was at everything she could be. She was one of the strongest women I knew, raising 2 kids as a single mom and working tirelessly to provide a wonderful life for them. We chose to name you after her and see so much of her strength in you. Next is Ann. You and her had such a wonderful relationship. You loved her pumpkin pie and zucchini bread. I loved growing up and having her as an aunt, but I loved watching her be a great aunt to you, Maddie, Ethan, and Jack even more. We all miss her so much, but I know she is here in spirit and would tell you how proud she is of you if she was here. I know it is hard not having Gramps here in person. Believe me, it is hard for me too. You have his mezuzah with you as a reminder that he is always close to your heart, no matter where he is. I love how close you and Gramps are, for moving the Ernie from house to house, fishing trips in Naples, and lots of baseball. You have always had such a special bond. Since he isn't here, I feel like I should pass along some Gramps-isms to mark this special occasion. Always remember to treat people the way you want to be treated. Ask questions, be inquisitive, and challenge people when you don't agree with them, just not too much with your teachers. Never lose sight of who you are and what you believe in. And to those who are here, Rabbi Noah, Cantor Perper, and Miss Rosengarten, we cannot thank you enough for all of your hard work and patience with Owen. Although he wasn't always a willing participant, he has come to understand and appreciate Judaism and is so proud of who he is and where he came from. I truly believe that a large part of this understanding is due to all three of you and your time spent with him. Owen, your Torah portion talks about conflicts and the importance of resolving them. You are such a history buff and have always been interested in World War II and the Holocaust. I truly believe that it is not a coincidence that your Torah portion is exemplified in a topic that you study constantly. As we see history beginning to repeat itself, I am so proud of you for standing up for who you are and what you believe in. I am so incredibly proud of you and Jack for seeing the immense need in Israel for aid and for changing your mitzvah project due to this dire situation. Don't ever stop fighting for what you believe in and wanting to help those who can't help themselves. It is such an incredible part of who you are, and I hope it never changes. Ever since you and Jack made a PowerPoint presentation for us as to why you should have your bar mitzvahs together, I have been so excited to see how it would all come together. I hope that today and tonight are everything that you both wanted. None of this would have been possible without Amy and Matthew, and I am so grateful to both of them for helping to make all of your dreams come true. Thank you to everyone for coming from near and far to be a part of this special day. Matt and I both come from very small families, and it means so much to have most of you here with us today. Mary and Jerry, thank you for always showing your support for Owen. You always show up when you can to cheer him on in whatever sport he is playing, and it means a lot to him. Mom and Dad, thank you for all that you do. Our time spent in Naples with you are some of our favorite memories, and we will cherish them forever. Abby, David, and Sue, thank you for having such a special place in our lives. Our annual trip to Cincinnati is one of our highlights of the year. And Sue, you are Owen's local grandparent, and he loves the time he gets to spend with you. Matt, thank you for putting up with me. I know I am not easy, but I truly appreciate you and everything you do. Maddie, thank you for being a great example of a good person, good student, and good Jew. Owen has big shoes to fill, even if his feet are already 6 sizes bigger than yours. Our friends are our extended family that are just as special to us, and we are so grateful to have you here today, surrounding us with your love and support. So now, Owen, you are considered to be a Jewish adult. I hope this means you might start to make your own breakfast, put some dishes in the dishwasher, but more importantly, continue your Jewish studies. Help educate those who don't know or understand our religion, and continue to stand up for what you know is right. Mazel tov, and I love you so much.
Sorry, we had a printer malfunction. I have very small writing, so it's going to be hard to look up a lot. When I heard Rachel practice her speech, a lot of the things that she said were very similar to the things that I wanted to say, so I've tried to keep it a little more brief, and a lot of the things that Rachel said, I echo completely, so most of them, yes. So I want to start by thanking everybody for coming today. When Owen first started talking about having a bar mitzvah, and especially having one with Jack as well, Owen wanted to have a more intimate, smaller service and not invite everybody, but just a smaller group of people that we thought would be most important, including our family and close friends. Both Rachel and I have smaller families, and some will be able to be here today, some not. So the people who are here with us today, we consider to be our extended family, so thank you all for being here today. So I would also like to take a moment just to say hi to David, who I know is not able to be here today. Sadly, we were fortunately able to speak to him on FaceTime before we came out here, and I know he's cheering for Owen and very proud of how he did today. I'd like to take a moment to thank Rabbi Noah, Rabbi Paslowski, as all for all their guidance and work with Owen. I can definitely tell that his enthusiasm has grown over time through his discussion of the religion and learning his bar mitzvah. I'd like to give Rabbi Paslowski a best of luck. I know you're going to be moving on to a different position, so good luck to you as well. And to Noah, I just wanted to thank you. We had a recent discussion about the structure of a bar mitzvah and the considerations that go into how to do it, and I really appreciated all the time and effort you consider and the experience, and really focused it around the bar mitzvah, and I think Owen's experience and having a chance to learn all the prayers and to really have a major role in the service was a very valuable experience, and I really enjoyed being able to watch it. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Maddie as well for all of her work with Owen. It's really enjoyable to see them get together when they're not fighting and sit and actually work together through school, or especially through Hebrew. Maddie really excelled at learning Hebrew and has done a great job learning 2 Torah portions. And when Owen would need some guidance and he would ask Maddie to sit and work with them, it was really a very touching experience to watch them work together and see Maddie work with Owen to help him improve. So thank you for doing that. I think it's nice as well, given Owen's Torah portion, talking about Jacob and Esau and seeing how the 2 siblings, you and Owen, always find a way to make up even when you fight. I'll take a moment now to talk to Owen. Owen, I'm very proud of you. I think you did such a great job today. You were really smooth. You didn't have any hiccups. You went right through it, and you seemed really eager to keep going. I was really proud of you. I think you did a great job. I was proud to see you practice and put in all the hours to improve and to really get your Torah portion down. And I could see how confident you were as you came to your rehearsal sessions, that you really had put in the work. So I'm very proud of you for that. Being here today also kind of reminds me about how quickly time goes by. It's crazy to think that Owen's here as a bar mitzvah and that Maddie's had her bat mitzvah. And it doesn't seem that long ago that Owen was just a little 3-year-old dancing around our house Gangnam style, running naked around the house and sometimes peeing on the floor. But it was a rental house, so it's okay. So, sorry, Owen. I had to say that. But otherwise, I remember spending lots of time with Owen reading books about animals and insects, and he was always so eager to learn, and he would just absorb information so quickly. I would mention a bug, he goes, oh yeah, that's from this country or that country, and it was really impressive to see his, how smart he was and how eager he was to learn. And as he got older and transitioned away from bugs and animals and more into bigger topics, as Rachel had talked about earlier, about his interest in World War II and his interest in the Holocaust in particular. We spent a lot of time watching channels that you would never think you would want to watch, like the History Channel, and watching things about World War II bombers and Holocaust stories. It would always touch me how much that really moved him, and whenever he had to pick books to read in school, he often would choose books about Holocaust stories from World War II. So I think it's certainly helped to shape him as a person and for him to appreciate his heritage and his background. So based on that and this background, I would encourage you to keep learning more about your religion and just the history of Jewish people and all they've gone through and survived and experienced throughout the many years since the religion has been started, and keep that going forward. In addition, I also would encourage you to continue to appreciate diversity, and that we live in a country where everybody has the opportunity to follow their own beliefs and to should be able to do that freely without having to worry about other people judging them. So I think looking back about a few stories about you and hearing stories from you and your friends about people getting picked on or people getting bullied, and that you would stand up for them and that you would not allow that to happen. I think that's a very important trait, and I was always very proud to hear you tell stories about that and other people talk about that. So I think as you move forward in life, I hope you'll remember those things and remember to stand up for people and think about people who sometimes aren't treated the way they should. So on a more lighter note, I just wanted to quickly talk about Owen and his life with baseball, because baseball has been a big shaping point of his life, going all the way back to his T-ball days, where everybody got to bat and run the bases, and the ball usually went about 6 feet, and everyone would fight to get it like 2 feet in front of the mound, and that was kind of fun to watch. But it was the foundation of Owen's baseball, and he clearly took to it and loved it, and as he started playing baseball, it was something that he clearly had a passion for, and he met some great friends along the way of doing it. So now, as you're going forward now with the new team, I hope you'll continue to work hard and to use all the lessons that you've learned working hard in baseball to continue to improve. Many of our memories growing over the years have been spending our springs and summers going to ballparks to watch Owen play baseball, meeting great friends along the way, both for Owen and the parents of the other players, having great friends from that as well. Also great memories with Coach Baz rallying the troops for a big comeback which is always inspiring to see, and usually you work most of the time. And then having some late night celebrations at the pool with some campfires and occasional fireworks that would go in different directions. So I hope you'll use your love for baseball and your dedication to working harder to use those lessons towards your life going forward, and to try to use that hard work and focus and desire to succeed towards whatever you put your mind to in life. Lastly, and I know Gramps echoed this a little bit earlier when you spoke to him, in addition to having an amazing son, I'm very happy to have a wonderful friend. I really enjoy spending time with Owen, not even just as a dad, but going to games and watching movies and hanging out and joking around, and I really enjoy it. And I feel pretty lucky to have such a great friend that will continue to grow over the years. I look forward to watching you continue to grow and evolve and see what your life turns into as you get older, and hopefully these lessons that you've learned up till now will continue to serve you well and grow into a wonderful adult. Thank you.
It's now a joy to call upon Meredith and Scott Glazer and Brooke and Ilya Bronstein, who are going to step forward, and they're going to lead us in a prayer that's been on the lips of parents and grandparents for generations, for millennia, as they've been able to witness moments such as these. So I'm going to ask that Rachel and Matt, if you would rise, and Maddie and Owen, if you would stand too. And dear grandparents who are here as well, if you would stand, and aunts and uncles and cousins. I'd like to invite the friends for whom are like family, and family who are like friends, and community who are present here as well, and teachers, to rise as we recite these beautiful words of tradition, the Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'shechianu v'hiyanu v'hiyanu l'zman hazeh.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for leading us. Please be seated. I love that enthusiasm. Oh, and I've got lots of favorite memories of you. One, which I thought was just so cool, was watching you win the home run derby this past summer at Glendale Little League, where often I'd see you and Jack work in the concession stand as my little baseball player was admiring and looking up to you. And it was really meaningful to watch you carry yourself not only just as a champion, but as someone that was able to show great grace and goodness in all of those moments. And it's really been a wonderful thing knowing you. You should be very proud of what you've accomplished here today. And one moment actually sticks out from this morning when we were talking about moments that were meaningful to you. You mentioned your birth, which was, I thought, funny, as a powerful moment. But also, when asked about, how this sort of relates to those really important baseball games, you acknowledged that this was a little more important to you, in a sense, to be able to stand here in front of your community and your family, and to take this next step in your Jewish journey and your journey to adulthood. And I found that particularly powerful and meaningful to hear you articulate those words. This is an important and sacred moment to become a bar mitzvah, an adult among our people. And it's a reflection of who you are and who your parents are, who your grandparents are, that you stand here today. So in the Torah portion you just read, and you did a great job, by the way, there's a switching of the guard taking place. And this portion concludes the stories of our patriarch Isaac and the beginning of the stories of our patriarch Jacob. We all know that our patriarchs are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but so little is actually said about Isaac. The stories that follow Isaac really focus on Jacob, He was an adventurous man, willing to take risks, willing to be creative with his future. But if we look at the stories of Isaac, it seems as though we find the complete opposite. He was safe, he was conservative, and a traditionalist. Earlier in our Torah portion, we read reports that Isaac's neighbors, the Philistines, stopped up the wells that Abraham had dug before Isaac was born. In Isaac's lifetime, Isaac redug those very same wells, and when he was finished, he gave them the very same names. Okay, Isaac was short on creativity, but he showed persistence. Isaac's accomplishments was to sustain that which his father had established, no more, no less. Even the Rambam, a great Jewish philosopher of the 13th century, said there would seem to be no benefit or any great honor to Isaac, given that he and his father did the identical thing. Isaac had no adventures of his own. There would be no pushing of the envelope, and certainly not much in the way of creativity. So if we contrast Isaac with his son Jacob, we find two very different personalities, where one was meek, the other was bold, where one never left home, the other traveled beyond the borders of the promised land, where one was all too often shaped by the will of others, the others shape reality with his will. Jacob was certainly the opposite of Isaac, buying his brother's birthright for a bowl of stew, as you taught us, dressing up as his brother to steal his brother's blessing, finding success outside of the land of Israel, building up his fortune. When he returned, dreaming of ladders extending to heaven and wrestling with angels. But maybe I'm being a little too hard on Isaac. Our tradition teaches us a different lesson. It asks the question, how many wells did our father Isaac dig in Beersheba? And the rabbis answered 5, which corresponds to the 5 books of Torah. In other words, redigging those same wells was a way of expressing loyalty to the spiritual values and practices that Isaac had inherited. Which brings me back to you, Owen. I truly believe that you internalized the teachings of our Torah portion. The way you understood the moral implications and value of our traditional story, recognizing the value of embracing those people in your life that you sometimes strive with, whether it's your closest of family or closest of friends. And while I was always repelled by the figure of Isaac and how he seemed to repeat what his father had done without moving forward to accomplish great things, I have a lot more sympathy and empathy for him now. There have been so many accomplishments of the generations before us. They fought for liberal democracy, equal rights for people of all races and creeds, equality for women, an end to anti-Semitism, the safety and security of Israel. And one would have thought that those wells had been dug. But here we are, like Isaac, digging them again. And I have far more sympathy now for Isaac and his trials, because in a sense, we're an Isaac generation. Oh, and your mitzvah project with Jack is an important one. You're digging wells for here and now and for the future that I pray will be filled with peace for you and your generation. And I pray that your future will be one in which you continue to make headway for the future, to fulfill the dreams that your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents have for you. You're a thoughtful and strong young man. You have all the potential of a wonderful leader. You have your parents' kindness and generosity of spirit. Matt and Rachel are dear, compassionate members of our community who have cultivated beautiful, beautiful friends, circle of friends around them. They, through their actions, make the world a better place. They're strong. And you have a wonderful example in your sister Maddie, who sets the path before you and with her wonderful way in the world. Part of becoming a bar mitzvah is standing in a chain of tradition that goes back for generations, lidor for dor, from generation to generation. And like Isaac, you and your generation are redigging those wells, maintaining their value so that the generations to come might enjoy them. But like Jacob, you must be willing to go beyond and make the world an even better one than it is today. It's precisely this ability that makes you the type of bar mitzvah the Jewish people need right now. We need men and women who will confront our future with new ideas and a willingness to adapt their tradition to meet the needs of our time. But we also need men and women who value our past, our tradition, and our most sacred beliefs. It sort of speaks to your interest and your passion for history. Too often, our culture only places value on that which is new and original, innovative and creative. Too often, we value only the Jacobs. But there's the danger that in doing so, we will be without roots, and this will cause us to wither. There's an anonymous quotation that I find particularly appropriate when we examine the merits of Isaac and Jacob. It reads that there are but two lasting bequests we can give our children. One is roots, and the other is wings. Roots signify your foundation, a definition of who you are and where you come from. It's important to be like Isaac and maintain your groundedness in your tradition and your family heritage, but it's also important to be like Jacob and have wings, for they are your means of leaving the security of the familiar in order to discover new horizons. And as you become a bar mitzvah, a son of the commandments, may you continue to grow and learn, to actively engage in making the world a better place, knowing where you come from, but keeping an eye to the exciting future that lies before you. My hope and wish for you is this: may you find the perfect balance between the rootedness of Isaac and the adventurous spirit of Jacob. May you have the wisdom to know when to hold fast to the traditions and values that have shaped you, and the courage to venture into new territories when the time is right. Owen, as you continue your journey, know that you do not walk alone. You are surrounded by family, friends, a community that walks with you. We're here to support you and learn from you and celebrate all that you are and all that you'll become. Mazel tov on reaching this significant milestone. May your life be filled with learning, growth, and abundance of blessings. May you always find the right balance between roots and wings, and may your journey be as fulfilling as it is meaningful. For God has brought you to this moment. May God ever keep you with good health, with happiness, and peace. And let us say, Amen. And now, Owen and I have the pleasure of saying words that are just for you to hear, and then Rabbi Pozlowski and Cantor and I will have the opportunity to bless you.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God always smile upon you, Owen, and bless you with God's choicest of blessing, the blessing of wholeness, the blessing of peace, the blessing of shalom. And let us say, we are now going to turn to the concluding sections of our service, and it's a joy to call upon dear friends Jack Bazelon and Lane Siegel to step forward as they have the honor of opening up our ark doors as we turn to page 282 in your Siddur. We rise now as one community as we join together in the singing of Aleinu.
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula le'yotze breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומולדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Our hearts now turn to memory as we think of dear ones who've passed into life eternal. Particularly in our hearts and minds, we are thinking of those for whom we commemorate the period of Shiva and Shloshim. We think of Alfred Fiel, Barry Levine, Bibi Burkhoff, Sonia Cortez, Reagan Juliet Field, Richard Lieberman, and Jacqueline Fendenke Lindo. In addition to those names, too, we think of all those who have died due to war and or terrorism, and certainly our hearts turn to the east as we think of all of those innocent victims of terrorism and all of those who have died in defense of this nation and allied nations and Israel's ideals. We think also of all of those who have died through the terrible virus of racism and xenophobia. In addition to those names, too, we think of all those who perished during the Holocaust. It's meaningful that you mentioned the name of Natan Weinberg. When you think about it, it may be possible that his name has not been mentioned in a forum like this in over 75 or 80 years. And to hear his name mentioned is particularly meaningful as you've twinned with that young man as he becomes bar mitzvah today too. And that is quite a mitzvah to do. If there are names of people that should be pronounced differently than I did, or if you're commemorating the yahrzeit of a loved one, or if you're grieving a loss of a family member, please do call those names out loud as I look in your direction. In addition to the names, we did that already. We are going to turn now to Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 294. Page 294, we rise together as a community as we recite these sacred words together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shmei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulamei almaya. Yit barach v'ishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. You may be seated. We always turn from sadness to joy. It's a joy to call upon a member of our congregational leadership, David Arnstein, and dear friend of the family, to step forward as he's going to present some gifts on behalf of our congregation and our community to you, Owen. Owen, you're welcome to come on up so you can receive those gifts and stand with your friend, David. Hey, David.
Hi, Rabbi.
Good to see you. You too. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Mazel tov to the whole family. Owen, you did an amazing job. Mazel tov to Rachel and Matt, to your sister Maddie, and your brother Jack. So it's good everyone's here today to celebrate. You did an amazing job. It's great to be up here. I've known Owen since he was a baby, and I don't remember Owen peeing in my house anywhere, but we had plenty of great times together, and I'm actually in awe of the young man you become, and it's nice to see Jack and Lane and all you guys are just wonderful young men. You're all grown up and so mature, and it gives me great pleasure to give you these gifts today. So on behalf of the Women's of Shalom and the Men's Club, we have several gifts to present to you. One is your Bar Mitzvah certificate, Owen Caleb Weinberg, so you can proudly display this with all the hard work that you put in. And we have the famous book by John Gerda, One People, Many Paths. And I think your sister has one, but you have your own now. History of Milwaukee. And there's a Kiddush cup and a tzedakah box. And I have to say, Owen, I'm really impressed with your speech today talking about what's going on in Israel. And I'm really glad that you understand the totality of what is happening. And you and Jack shifting your project to Israel gives great meaning, to I think your maturity and what you've learned. So I'm sure that you'll continue with tzedakah, and a great spot for that is Israeli Emergency Fund, of course, that you've talked about. And your Kiddush cup, as you continue to celebrate Shabbat with your family, you can use that at home and maybe get a little bit of wine from your dad when he wants to pass it along. But all these gifts are for you as you continue on with your Jewish life and traditions for you to have at home. So, mazel tov. And I do have one more gift for Owen. I like to try to bring one other thing along with me besides the gifts from the synagogue. And now that Owen's an adult, and I know you and your dad love playing golf together, and now that you're an adult, you can be more honest with your dad and tell him about his golf game. And your dad loses a lot of golf balls on the golf course, which we know. And therefore, I got you a bunch of golf balls. So when you play this summer with your dad, bring him along, tell him it's okay, he can let it go, and you can give him some golf balls. So mazel tov, very proud of you and looking forward to celebrating. All right. Mazel tov.
Thank you, David. It's always wonderful to share the bima with you, and thank you for your leadership in our community and our congregation. You are surrounded by such wonderful examples of what it means to be a mensch, and you are a mensch too. And so I'd like to invite you now to go over to the S table, as it's a moment you've been waiting for. If you'd like to go next to the American flag and call up your family, if Rachel and Maddie, if you'd like to join Owen as well. And we are going to turn to our concluding hymn for the Shabbat. And let's rise together as we sing.
Semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov. Yehelanu, 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 oh l'chol Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, oh l'chol Yisrael. Semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, Yehelanu.
We lift up the Kiddush cup, a cup that is overflowing with blessings for all of the goodness that you've brought to this moment. And we sing a timeless blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
L'chaim, a little sip, Owen. Very good. All right, we take now the cover off of the challah, and the challah is a beautiful symbol of our interconnectivity, how all of our lives are braided together, and just as the challah gives a sense of nourishment to our stomach, so too do our relationships bring a sense of nourishment to our souls. We lift up the challah now, and we recite a blessing together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
B'te'avon and mazel tov, everyone.